If you refuse to relinquish ownership of this house, it's heading towards divorce. My husband's sudden ultimatum left me reeling. This home holds cherished memories with my parents, and I am steadfast in my resolve to keep it. Yet my husband, seemingly playing with my emotions, begins to make threats. Lost and bewildered, I turn to my father for guidance. My name is Ashley, and I'm in my 20s, supporting our household as a full-time homemaker. It's been nearly 2 years since I married Gary. Initially, he tirelessly provided for us after I left my job upon marriage. However, after the passing of Gary's father, his mother decided to move in with us, disrupting our ordinary routine. To my surprise, Gary casually informed me of his mother's impending move just the day before. "Oh, by the way, Mom will be joining us from tomorrow," he said upon returning home. This unilateral decision left me unsettled. It seemed my husband had already made up his mind about our living arrangements without consulting me. The following day, my mother-in-law arrived with an abundance of luggage, her dissatisfaction palpable. "It's been a while, Mom. Please come in," I greeted her warmly. However, her response hinted at her discontentment, expecting me to fetch her from the station. Tensions began to escalate as she asserted her dominance within our home. The next day, her criticisms intensified, particularly when my husband was away at work. "Ashley, why are you wasting time doing dishes? Laundry should be your priority in the morning," she scolded. Despite my attempts to explain my routine, she dismissed my perspective, insisting on her own priorities. It became apparent that my mother-in-law disapproved of my way of managing household tasks, regardless of my compliance. The strain of navigating her constant criticisms weighed heavily on me, especially during our solitary moments together. One day, I devised a secret plan to escape living with my overbearing mother-in-law by suggesting to my husband that we move into the house my father had gifted me. My parents had recently relocated to the countryside after my father's early retirement, and they handed their house over to me. Fortunately, it wasn't far from our current apartment. With living alongside my mother-in-law becoming increasingly unbearable, I felt it was time for my husband and me to make a change. I wasted no time in sharing my proposal with Gary. "Gary, can we talk for a moment? I've been thinking about moving to the house my dad gave us," I said. Gary seemed surprised but receptive. "Why the sudden interest?" he asked. I explained the strain of living with his mother, to which he surprisingly agreed to the idea without much resistance. We discussed it with his mom, and within a week, we were in the process of moving. To my relief, my mother-in-law didn't protest much and even bid us farewell with a smile as we left. Once settled in our new home, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. No more snide remarks from my mother-in-law. I could finally live freely as before. Although I had expected some pushback, I was glad I took the chance and consulted Gary, but the challenges didn't end there. Now the issue was my husband's frequent late returns. While occasional overtime or social gatherings would be understandable, his absences were often due to visiting his mother. Despite his claims of concern for her, it occurred too frequently. He'd sometimes spend entire days there without informing me, leaving me feeling neglected and isolated. My daily routine is crumbling. This can't continue. One day, I broached the subject with my husband, Gary. "Isn't it too frequent for you not to come home?" I asked. "But I'm mostly at my mom's place," Gary replied casually. "It's not about that. At least let me know in advance. Making dinner becomes a waste," I explained, frustrated. "Just eat it the next day. You're a housewife, always at home," Gary retorted. "Being a housewife doesn't mean I don't need to be informed," I countered. Gary seemed unconvinced. "Isn't it true a housewife just lazes around at home?" Frustrated with his lack of understanding, I pressed on. "Besides, I'm more worried about leaving Mom alone. Erica will be back soon, and I have to talk about that with Mom." "Erica." Gary's response caught me off guard. What would be the reason for her return, and what do they have to discuss? "Erica is coming back, but is there really something to discuss with your mom?" I inquired. "Of course there is. Erica is moving in, so we need to talk about it," Gary explained matter-of-factly. Huh, is that so? Erica used to live in quite a spacious house overseas, and she insisted on having a similarly large house here, Gary continued. The sudden news left me stunned. My sister-in-law is going to live in this house, just as I finally got away from my mother-in-law. Wait a minute, this house was given to me by my dad. Why is Erica going to live here too? Well, originally, we lived in that apartment, but now Mom is living there. Besides, that apartment is smaller, right? This is the only spacious house we have, Gary tried to justify. You can't just decide that on your own. I didn't plan on living with Erica, I protested. Oh, we won't be living together. We're going back to Mom's place, and Erica can have this house, Gary clarified. What are you saying? I told you we're going back to Mom's place. Erica can live freely in this house. Gary's lack of common sense left me physically staggered. I continued to assert that I had no intention of cohabitating with Erica, which upset my husband. Cut it out already, he snapped. You can live here thanks to me, so shut up and listen. Don't mess around. This is the house I inherited. Why should Erica get it? It's a shame for you to live in such a splendid house, right? Erica has lived abroad for a long time, and I've promised her a big house. It's too late to say it's impossible now. I don't care anyway. I hate it all. All you do is complain. That's enough. Cool your head a bit. I'm going back to Mom's place for a while. With that, he slammed the door shut and left. Left alone in the room, tears welled up slowly. Why does he always decide things on his own? This is the precious house I inherited, and he's giving it to his sister. This is not a joke. In the midst of my distress, I received daily messages from my husband asking if I regretted it or telling me to come back soon. Each time, I had to express my unwavering determination not to yield. Then one day, my husband, fed up with my resistance, called in anger. Hey, Ashley, when the hell are you coming over here? That's why I won't say it again. I'm not going there, and I have no intention of giving this house to Erica. Cut it out. I've already told Erica she'll be coming back this week. Stop whining. Don't decide things on your own. I inherited this house from my dad. It's mine now. Why do I have to let go of it for your family? Who do you think you're talking to? Mom is angry. Don't ruin our mood any further, he added. You're ignoring my feelings, I retorted. My husband seemed quite frustrated, sighing loudly over the phone. Immediately after that, he said something unbelievable. If you don't listen to what I say, it's divorce. Get out by tomorrow and transfer that house to Erica. At that moment, my love for my husband began to cool off rapidly. His despicable attitude of threatening with the word divorce angered me to the core. I couldn't forgive it. Threatening with divorce instead of considering someone's feelings, let alone discussing it? I will not let these people do what they want. In spite of his anger, my husband continued triumphantly. Understand, if you don't leave by tomorrow, it's divorce. Got it? Seriously. Of course, you have no choice in this matter. A housewife, like you, will have a hard time if something happens, right? No, I get it. Good. That's all you need to know. Then hurry up and move here. My mom is enthusiastic about educating you. After delivering this ultimatum, my husband unilaterally ended the call. After explaining the situation to my father, he agreed to cooperate with a plan I had in mind. The next day, my husband, acting confident, called out to me. Hey, is packing done? He asked. Yes, of course, I calmly replied. More importantly, when is Erica coming back? Tomorrow, he replied. Why are you so fixated on Erica? To my question, my husband quickly revealed his true intentions. Actually, she's making quite a bit of money with stocks and investments. I see, so you want to get close to her and maybe get some financial support. That sounds like something you think of. Say what you want. Anyway, you need to leave by today or it'll be troublesome for us, he insisted. Don't worry, I've already moved, I said. My words seemed to genuinely surprise my husband. Thinking that I had obediently followed his instructions, he arrogantly continued, Oh, so you also don't want to divorce after all. That makes sense. It would be tough to live without income. That's right. Although we're still officially a couple, and I answered your call, that's about to end. I replied calmly. Huh. Let's get a divorce. My words visibly shook my husband. What? What are you saying? As I told you, you're going to leave that house, right? Are you moving here right now? He demanded. There's no way I'm doing that. I won't return to a house with an unreasonable husband and a bullying mother-in-law, I asserted. What do you mean by that? We promised you would leave that house, he protested. Yes, that's right. I already did, as we agreed. I told you I've already moved. Don't mess with me, I said firmly. If that's the case, where are you now? Feeling the pressure, my husband's tone became faster. It was a sign that he was losing his composure. I'm at my parents' place now, I revealed. Huh? You moved to the countryside where your parents live? He asked, surprised. Yes, I moved to the countryside where my parents live. So I won't be returning back to your place, I confirmed. What? Is that so? My husband's tone expressed a sense of relief. Well, that doesn't matter if that house goes to Erica. $500,000, huh? I put that house, which my father gave me, up for sale. So if you really want to give it to Erica, buy it for $500,000, I declared. You're joking, right? My husband's disbelief was palpable. I'm not joking. Since the house is still in my father's name, I asked him to put it up for sale. In fact, the cooperation I saw from my father was for the sale of the house. My father had told me before, when the time comes for you to live as you like, or if you face any trouble, let me know. The appraisal result was $500,000. So we immediately put it up for sale, I explained. My husband choked on his words and started cursing. What the hell are you doing? Whatever you want, I won't forgive you. I don't need your forgiveness. We're getting a divorce soon anyway. Do you understand your position? Being alone and facing difficulties is much better than being with you forever, I retorted. Oh, well, Erica is coming back soon, you know. I'll tell you, I'm counting on Erica's money, he continued. If you really want to settle things with Erica, buy the house for $500,000 if you can, I challenged. That's not something she can do. Erica is making money through investments, right? If you want to settle it with her so much, you can buy the house for $500,000. How much can Erica offer? He tried to deflect. He continued to make excuses without a hint of apology. Seeing it as a waste of time, I confronted him. I don't have time to deal with such foolishness. Did you think threatening with divorce would make me willingly give up the house? Just because I'm a housewife doesn't mean I'll obediently follow whatever you say. Wait, calm down, calm down. The one panicking here is you, isn't it? He attempted to regain control. I won't be controlled by you and your family any longer. I won't continue being a part of this family with you people. Don't ever get involved in my life again. Go to hell with your beloved mom. I yelled loud enough for the neighbors to hear before abruptly leaving. Of course, I immediately blocked his calls and cut off all means of communication with my husband. Afterwards, I consulted a friend who was a lawyer to initiate divorce mediation with my husband. It took some time, but I was able to proceed with the divorce due to my husband's fault. He is still living in that apartment with his mother. As for the return of my sister-in-law, in the end, they couldn't secure a large house, and Erica, angered by the changed circumstances, returned overseas in a fit of rage. The attempt by my ex-husband to seek financial assistance from Erica, who earned money through investments, ended in complete failure. He is now living precariously to make ends meet for the alimony payments and payments of living expenses for his mother. If he continues to live with that selfish mother-in-law, his life won't get any better in the future. On the other hand, I am enjoying peaceful days with my parents in the countryside where I moved recently. I got a job as an administrative staff at a small fruit orchard through an introduction from a neighbor. I am earning enough to live comfortably now. I plan to live here for some time to come. I will stay by their side as long as I can to repay my parents.